I'm Matt from all over the lake. Make sure to like and subscribe. The grass is turning green, the trees and flowers are blooming, and spring is in the air. Morel mushroom season is right around the corner. I'm hoping this is a bountiful season and that my bags are overflowing. I've been morel mushroom hunting for 39 years, and most of those seasons were unsuccessful. One year I decided to dedicate myself to morel mushroom hunting, and over about a 2 to 3 year period, I'd say I finally figured them out. Every season I find no less than 500 morel mushrooms, and sometimes as many as 2,000 to 3,000 morels. I'd like to help those of you who are new, beginners, or just struggling to be consistently successful year to year. One thing I'd recommend is going during optimal time. Sure, you can maybe find 2 to 7, which is better than finding 0, but I'd recommend pinpointing the time when tons of morels are up to maximize your opportunity to get a great harvest. The key to timing is flora and fauna. Every year I pay attention to all the little details of the forest and in my neighborhood. Pay attention to what birds are chirping, what animals are mating, what flowers are blooming. I've noticed every single year one little thing that's almost always consistent here in Kansas City. When my grass is way past needing cut, or when my neighbors are on their second cut, that's prime morel season. Maybe that little trick will work wherever you're located. Maybe drop me a line down in the comments and let me know where you're at. Say hello, and I'm always interested in where my viewers are watching from. But my grass isn't the only thing I notice in the spring. I have a tree in my backyard that's usually bloomed out for about a week when the morels are out during prime time. The dandelions have usually been out for about a week or 2. There are lots of little things that I look for that tell me it's time to go morel mushroom picking. Not hunting, because I'm bringing home a bag full, or 2, or even 3. If you know when prime time is, then if you go to a location and strike out, you know that they're out, and you'll move on to a second location and still be successful, because you know it's time to pick morels. Some areas produce better and worse from season to season. So one location that produced a whole ton of morels last year, or a medium amount, let's say, maybe you found 50 in a spot of woods, maybe you find 2 or 3. But if you know that it's time, you'll move on to another location. I recommend about 20 minutes in a location, and if you're not finding morels in about 20 minutes, I usually move on to a new location. Sure, you can spend 3 hours in the woods and end up with 7 morels, but I like to concentrate my time and energy in those locations that produce lots of morel mushrooms and leave those other not very good producing areas for somebody else to search. Now, I definitely recommend coming back and checking those locations in a week and letting them set and see if maybe it's warmed up enough there that the morels have come up. One thing to keep in mind is morel mushrooms do grow, and I have a video, if you want to check it out, that show you that they grow. Some people think that they pop up full size, but morel mushrooms definitely grow, and they live up to 21 days. So if you're finding small morel mushrooms, come back and recheck that location in a week or in a week and a half, and maybe now you're finding the nice big ones. And even if you're finding medium-sized morel mushrooms in an area, maybe you find 1 or 2, come back in a week, and maybe you find 20 big old giant yellows. So I always recommend returning and checking areas that even aren't great areas, and maybe you'll find those ones that were small and still underneath leaves and hidden and just not big enough to spot. Make sure to pay attention to the flowers and the trees and the flora and the fauna, and hopefully next season you won't be guessing. I hope this video helped you, and I hope you find a whole bunch of morels this year, and definitely take some pictures and pay attention when you do find morels to what's going on in your neighborhood. What birds are in the area, what birds are chirping, what animals are out, what they're doing, what the plants in your yard look like. How big are the leaves on the tree in the front of your house? Is it just starting to bud, or are they nice big leaves? What's flowering in your neighborhood? And if you start to pay attention to those little things, you'll see that consistently year after year, that'll kind of help you to pinpoint when you're going to be able to pick morel mushrooms. Maybe you've heard that old saying, when the cottonwoods bloom, when the dogwoods bloom, the crappie are on the bank. And I'm sure it's pretty true. I've never tried to follow it, but that's a saying that probably, if you know what a dogwood looks like and you know when they're blooming, that probably correlates to when the crappie are spawning. And it's kind of the same thing with morel mushrooms, and usually those two go hand in hand. So maybe we can make a new saying, and maybe when the dogwoods bloom, the morel mushrooms are in the woods. So I hope that this helped you. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already to see more of my content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.